And you remember the narration of the sahabi who came to the Prophet ﷺ wanting to get married. And he said to him, ماذا أمهرتها? What have you given her as dowry? He said, I haven't given her anything. I have no mahr to give her. He said, أمهرها ولو خاتما من حديد. Give her a dowry even if it's something as simple as an iron ring. He said, Wallahi, I don't have an iron ring to give her. The companion said, so I will give her my lower garment. He said, if you give her your lower garment, you will be unclothed. You will be naked. The point of mentioning all of this, brothers and sisters, is to establish the poverty, the destitution for the most part of their lives and for the majority of the Sahaba. But things would change. Things would change. The Prophet ﷺ would pass away. After delivering the message of Islam with miraculous success and utmost completion. And then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu would assume leadership. And he would fight the apostates, al-murtaddun. And then Umar radiallahu anhu would then assume leadership. And this is when the conquests began to rise. And now, Allahu Akbar, as Islam travels to the four corners of the globe, for the first time in the lives of the companions, they were now being exposed to the treasures and the riches of the world. Notice, from extreme poverty to extreme wealth. But did it change them? Did it change them? This is what we want to establish. During the time of Umar, the armies of the Muslims reached the gates of Persia, and they were conquering their cities one after the other, till they arrived to Al-Madain, which was the very capital of the Persian Empire. And they got to the palace of Kisra ibn Hormuz, the emperor of Persia. Can you imagine, Ikhwani? Can you imagine? Now they have arrived at Persia. This was the land that the Sahaba used to hear so much about in Jahiliyyah. They used to hear about the land of Persia, the weather of Persia, the wealth of Kisra. And now with Islam, they are inside of Persia. They are inside of Al-Madain, and they have conquered the very palace of Kisra ibn Hormuz. They enter the palace, and they now see what they had read about and heard with their very own eyes. But did they change? They saw the crown of Kisra that was studded with pearls and rubies, a crown that was so heavy with gold and silver that it was suspended to the ceiling with chains because it was too heavy to be carried by the head of Kisra without support. They saw the carpets of Persia that were sewn with gold and silver and pearl and had pictures of the emperors and the kings of Persia all across the carpets. They saw that. They were now seeing with their own eyes the chambers that they were unlocking one after the other. The chambers of gold and silver utensils, food and drink and cups. They saw it, and the clothes of the emperors. They saw it. Silk, they touched it for the first time. Caravan upon caravan loaded with gold and silver was being transferred to Medina. From all across the globe, coming to Medina and distributed between their rightful owners and spent back in the path of Allah. But did they change? This is what we want to establish. All of a sudden, the companions now had wealth. A lot of them had businesses and land. A lot of them were now investing as well. A lot of them became umara, governors of the cities and provinces of the world. Did they change?